Hey out there on YouTube. It's Doc again. I want to make this video. My wife Sarah is with me. She's going to ask me questions just like the last video. Basically, this video is because she was looking on her Instagram and saw somebody post something about the school shootings just in 2018. So it's only been a couple weeks, and we've already had 18 school shootings. I'm not quite sure of the amount, the death toll so far, but she's gonna ask me some questions that she's thought of, my thoughts on it. So I guess just ask them and we'll go to it.
Um, on the subject of how to prevent school shootings, what do you think that teachers and administration can do to help?
So number one, I think a big problem that we have in America right now in schools and stuff like that is it seems like the teachers and the administrators have developed some kind of like fear of the students, um, and that's evident through like just the students being able to get away with practically anything. Um, you walk into any school nowadays, and kids are on their phone in class, and their fucking social media. They're sending like hate messages to people, and there's a show on TV right now where like kids are sending other people messages saying that they want to rape them and things like that, and I'm gonna shoot this person and shoot that person and we'll kill this. It is the job of the administrators while that student is on school property to protect them. I don't care if that's not what you got into it for or anything like that. I know you're not getting paid that much. So you're doing this because you care about students, about the, kids getting the proper education. And unfortunately, that's kind of fell by the wayside where you guys are just like, I don't know, babysitters that aren't doing a good job.
You think that there could be something put in place besides like a lockdown, for instance, where they have the kids sit in the dark with the doors locked and everything? If an intruder were to come in, you think that there's a better way to handle that? There's something that the teachers can do instead of everybody just hiding and waiting?
I think that any situation where you're trying to build safety and confidence in the ability to protect starts with proper training. In the military, most of us soldiers are trained to be able to look at a situation and know, you know, what the safest places are, the choke points, everything. You have so many people that are coming in the schools of automatic rifles and handguns and stuff like that, and these people don't know how to defend or how to properly, you know, get to safety and stuff like that. Because I'm here to tell you, a wooden desk is not going to stop an AR round. It just isn't. I've spent a career shooting through doors and walls, and your rinky-dink fucking school desk is not going to stop it. There needs to be something in place where the teachers are trained, not necessarily to be combat operators, but how to see the signs, how to recognize, and what to do in that situation. Now, with that said, there also needs to be, some kind of assembly or some kind of like ongoing support by people who are trained in that scenario to, give training to the administrators, give training to the parents, and most definitely tell the kids that they're not to do that shit.
It almost seems like when in some cases when kids bring guns to school, it's sometimes because they've been bullied so much and they don't know how to deal with their anger and their problems and stuff, so they build up this anger within themselves to attack other people, when it's completely unnecessary. Do you think that maybe if there was some sort of like class or program put in place for kids to learn how to defend themselves better, that would be, something that would benefit them?
A lot of the way I look at it is a lot of bullying has to do with insecurities. A lot of the people that are perpetrating the bullying on other people are people that, number one, don't have a lot of confidence in themselves, or they're being bullied. So
we also see that counseling in schools is not working, obviously.
Well, yeah, because they're not counseling in school is not. It's a Band-Aid. It's basically it's somebody who is not overly qualified in this situation to be able to say, this is the reasons. They're just saying, well, high school doesn't matter, and when you get out of high school, you'll realize that you're a big boy and big girl, and things aren't going to be that bad. But the problem is that they're not looking at the ramifications of this, and they're not looking at the home life, and they're not looking at certain things. So when it all boils down, you got a person that's getting fucking, ripped on day after day after day till they get to their breaking point. And then you add in all the outside stimuli, which is violent video games, fucking, pornography and fucking sexuality and all this other stuff. And you're a fucking teenage kid. Your hormones are going fucking nuts. You haven't had that fucking balance yet. So you're saying all this shit. No girl wants to talk to you, or no boy wants to talk to you. You got somebody saying that your fucking teeth are jacked or your hair looks like shit. You're wearing your fucking hand-me-downs. Fucking dude's got Jordans on and he's stomping a mud hole in your ass every single goddamn day. Of course, shit's gonna fucking pile up, and then you go home and you play Call of Duty and you're ripping the heads off motherfuckers. And you assume in your fucking pea brain that you think, oh, well, if I shoot this fucker, then I get to the next level. There ain't no fucking next level. The next level is you're either in prison or you fucking blew your own brain off because you fucking just can't handle your shit. And that all comes down to fucking administrators, parents, not doing the job that they need to do because they don't know what to do when there is a shit ton of people, and I'm going to say this, veterans, combat veterans, who have been in those situations. We've had to deal with that crap. We know that sometimes, instead of tiptoeing around the tulips, you need to put your fucking finger in someone's face and say, no, that shit's not going to fly.
What do you think that the school system can improve on when it comes to dealing with kids and bringing guns to school and bullying and everything like that leads up to the school shootings that happen?
There needs to be something in place where look, I know the first thing that, a school administrator is going to do is they're going to call their local PD and they're going to have somebody come in and talk to them. But the problem is that cops aren't properly trained for that scenario. A cop shows up after 16 kids are shot and the motherfucker's still running around. And then they sit out there and try to calm this person down. When what you need is something that happened prior to all this going down. And like I said, the best case scenario is you have somebody come in who is a combat veteran, who knows exactly how to talk to somebody, how to check that school, how to train those individuals to see the warning signs, to fucking prepare themselves for the eventuality that some shit might pop off.
It's almost like there isn't enough individual attention being dispersed throughout the kids, that there needs to be something that can involve everybody as a whole, because it seems like individual attention just isn't working.
Well, the problem is that there needs to be the perfect case scenario. Let's say here in our hometown, we live in a very small town in North Carolina. say the principal of the high school gives me a call and says, hey, I want you to come down and I want you to talk to my administrators and teachers and I want you to talk to the students. Okay? So I go down and I prepare something that I'm going to say to both groups, and I sit down and I talk. At the end of my spiel, I put it out there. Look, if you need individual help, if you have questions, if you have concerns, if something has fucking just entered that brain of yours and you want clarity on it, come see me. I don't mind sitting down with a student or a teacher or anybody and listening to them and diagnosing the situation, because that's what I did. That's what I did for so many years in the military. I had to look at what was going on, listen to all the fucking things that were going on, and try to come up with a strategy. If there's a kid that comes up to me and says, you know, I'm being bullied, this, that, and the other, I can sit down with that student and say, okay, let's talk this through. Let's figure out a game plan. Let's put an operation together.
It's almost like, you know, you have that spare time. You still feel like you have a job that's unfinished. You have that time to dedicate to an individual if they need it. Whereas that seems like where, you know, the school is failing.
Yeah. When I joined the military, I took an oath. I raised my right hand and I said that I would defend the people of this country. Just because I don't wear the uniform anymore doesn't mean that my oath, like, it doesn't mean I reneged on my oath. I take that oath seriously. If I fucking walk down the street and see somebody in need, I'm going to do something. Because I know that, number one, for close to 14 years, I did that. That doesn't mean that it stopped. I got 2 legs, 2 arms, a fucking brain. I can shoulder more of my fucking than most people can. So if I have to, and if I see the need, I'm going to be there because I am an American and I care about how this country turns out. There's a lot of things I can't handle or I can't do, like deal with the fucking government, but I can deal from the ground up, the people who are going to make decisions in the future.
So I guess lastly, how do you think that parents can help kids in these situations? Almost like when they talk to, you know, every parent sits down with their kid and gives them the, you know, drug and alcohol talk, the sex talk, and everything like that. Do you think that maybe like a weapon safety talk should be necessary for kids to know?
You know, in our modern society, it's come to my attention that like a lot of parents, they don't spend the time with their kids. They're more concerned with other things. Number one, if you don't have the time for a kid, close your fucking legs. Okay? If you don't want to invest the time to raise a child right, then you don't have the fucking right. Okay? You can talk to kids about drug safety and sex and all this other stuff. They're still doing it. Okay? So evidently that's not working. Whatever you're doing. A child looks at you. And if you're not home or you're working all this time, they gotta fucking walk 10 miles to get home every day from school because you can't fucking pick them up, or you flip them a 20 because you can't make a lunch for them, you're not even thinking about how that's affecting that child. A child looks to their parents as being the end-all, end-all. And if you're not there, then they're going on fucking social media and they're talking to their fucking buddies Carlos or whatever, they're on the corner, and they're getting their fucking influence from that person. That's a no-go. Okay? You need to fucking be proactive. You need to be a part of your child's development because someone else will. And that's how you end up having a child that's in prison or in a fucking pine box in the ground. Alright, so I guess that's going to be my little spiel on the whole subject. If you've got questions, concerns, anything, you don't like my fucking language, fuck you. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. If you got any questions, like I just said, put them in the comments below. If you have any ideas, put them in the comments below, and look out for the next video.